Here's a trick to remember the blood vessels supplying the brain. They kinda have the same shape as this meditating cow with a spirit bull appearing over its head. In this diagram, the lighter areas represent the circle of Willis, and the rest of the drawing represents other blood vessels. Hence, the circle of Willis is the spirit bull appearing on top of the meditating cow's head, as well as the meditating cow's horns. First, we have the anterior cerebral arteries, represented by the spirit bull's horns and connected to its head, or cerebral area. Next, we have the anterior communicating artery. This is the part of the bull that communicates and says. Then, there's the internal carotid artery, represented by the bull's feet. The posterior communicating artery is the bull's torso, and how it communicates with the cow at the bull's posterior. Finally, the horns of the cow, which are joined to its head, or cerebral region, represent the posterior cerebral artery. The other arteries of the brain aren't hard to remember. Most are named after the areas they wrap around. The anterior spinal artery supplies the anterior portion of the spinal cord. It is represented by the cow's tail. The posterior inferior cerebellar artery branches off from the vertebral artery and is one of the three main arterial blood supplies of the cerebellum. You can think of the three arteries that supply the cerebellum as the outer hoof, the front leg, and the ear of the cow. All three arteries have names ending with cerebellar artery. The top one, represented by the cow's ear, is called the superior cerebellar artery because it's highest up. Then there are the two inferior cerebellar arteries. One is called the anterior inferior cerebellar artery because it forms the cow's anterior leg, and the other is called the posterior inferior cerebellar artery because it forms the cow's posterior hoof. Next, there's the basilar artery. This artery is formed where the two vertebral arteries join. It lies in front of the brainstem, and sprouting to its sides are the pontine arteries. The pontine arteries supply the pons and adjacent structures, hence the name. Together, the vertebral and basilar arteries form the vertebrobasilar system. This system supplies the posterior end of the circle of Willis with blood, along with the internal carotid arteries, which pump blood into the anterior portion of the circle of Willis. The last artery we're going to mention is the middle cerebral artery. It's not part of the circle of Willis, hence it's brown in the diagram. You can remember its name as it being in the middle of nowhere. If you enjoyed this lesson, please like and subscribe. It would really help me make more videos. Also, please comment below if you have a topic that you would like me to cover in a future video.